Continuing with the chapter, after the news report, Kalpana Chawla said that she never dreamed as a child in Karnal that she would cross the frontiers of space. So when she was asked about her mission, because she had achieved so much in her short life, and when she was asked how she felt about going to space in one of her interviews, she said that she had never dreamed, she had never even thought about, as a child in Karnal, when she was living in that small town in Karnal, she had not even thought about this kind of feat, this kind of achievement, that she would cross the frontiers, borders, that she would go above the earth and into the space, frontiers of space. It was enough that her parents allowed her to attend engineering college after she graduated from Tagore School, and she had thought that it was quite good enough for her that at least her parents gave her permission to join an engineering college in her own town. So that was kind of mindset she had at that time, that she considered herself lucky that at least her parents let her go to an engineering college. But when she saw her capability, and she didn't want to stop at that graduation level only, she wanted to do something further. This is what she did after a Bachelor of Science degree in aeronautical engineering. So when she completed her engineering degree in aeronautical engineering against great opposition from her father, she went for a master's degree to the United States of America. So when she thought that she had enough of education, but then again she had a second thought that no, I can't stop here, I need to pursue higher studies. So she applied for this master's degree in United States of America. She applied for that, she got selected, but initially her father was not willing to send her. So he opposed this idea. Against the great opposition from her father, she still went on to study further and went to United States of America. And after that, after this master's degree, see, first she did bachelor's, she did graduation, then she did master's degree, and after that she did her PhD, doctorate. This is one of the highest degrees of education. So she later earned her PhD in aerospace engineering. Very few people are selected in this kind of engineering, aerospace. Very few people qualify in this. So she was one of them, and that too a lady at that time. Kalpana Chawla was the first Indian American woman astronaut to blast off from the launch pad at Cape Canaveral, Florida, and participate in a successful mission in space. So she was one of the first. She was the first Indian American, first Indian. That is what I said. The nation is proud of her. She made us proud. She's our pride. To blast, to go to space and come back with a successful mission in space. This is when she went for the first time. Her family from India cheered along with staff at the Kennedy Space Center as they watched the Columbia lift off. So everybody, it's not only from her family, everybody, I remember everybody in India cheered for her, and with the staff and all, everybody who was concerned, who knew about that space mission, everybody was watching keenly the whole thing. Even I remember watching that, and when it happened, it was just so unfortunate. It was so sad when that accident happened. Kalpana was born in Karnal, Haryana, but was a naturalized US citizen, married to flight instructor Jean-Pierre Harrison. She was born in India, but then when she moved to America for further studies, there she married and she joined NASA and all. She couldn't come back, and then she married there and thus became a naturalized citizen of America. Besides being an astronaut, she was licensed to fly single and multi-engine land airplanes. Besides training as an astronaut, she was also a licensed pilot, and she could fly single and both single as well as multi-engine land airplanes, single engine seaplanes and gliders. So she had license of all these airplanes. She was also a certified flight instructor. That means she could teach others also. She was qualified for that. If she started her own school or this workshop or something like that, she was certified for that. After qualifying as a pilot, Kalpana began to consider another challenge. So after she qualified as a pilot, now she began to think further than this. She didn't even stop at that. Applying to NASA's space shuttle program. Now she applied for this, NASA's one of the highest degrees of the world. So she's applied for this. She didn't know whether she would be selected for this or not, but then she still applied for it. She was first hired. Yes, she got selected, but first as a research scientist at NASA, not directly as an astronaut. She was first hired as a research scientist at NASA. In 1994, she was selected by NASA for training as an astronaut. So finally her dream was coming true, started to come true when she was selected by NASA for training as an astronaut. So when again she was asked about it, when asked what it was like being a woman in her field, she replied. So somebody asked her, some reporter asked her, how did she feel about it? She being a woman and all, how did she feel? Because it was a male dominated this field. So it was natural for people to ask her, how did she feel as a woman that she is in such a male dominated field? And what was her answer? What was her reply? I really never ever thought कि ये तो कभी मेरे दिमाग में कभी आया ही नहीं that I am a woman and I am not capable of doing it all. So it never had occurred to her. I really never ever thought while pursuing my studies or doing anything else that I was a woman. So it was a dream, it was a passion. It never occurred to her that just because she's a woman she can't do it. No, she had never thought like that. She knew about her capability, so she pursued her dream. और a person from a small city, ना ही ये मेरे दिमाग में कभी आया कि मैं एक छोटे शहर से हूँ, or a different country or from some other country, not being from America and that I'm from some other country, मेरे दिमाग में कभी आया भी नहीं है. I pretty much had my dreams. I just had my dreams like anyone else. सबके होते हैं, सपने होते हैं कुछ बनने के, मेरा भी वैसे ही था. So I pursued my dream. मैंने उस सपने को सच करके दिखाया. And I followed them. And people who were around me, fortunately, always encouraged me and said, if that's what you want to do, carry on. And fortunately, she had support of all the people who were around her. Like her father objected to her going to America. That was but natural. But then he didn't stop her. First, he showed his resentment. उसने अपना ये दिखाया कि नहीं बच्चे, पता नहीं वहाँ कैसा होगा, because she's a girl, she's going all alone to such a far off place. Maybe he had these restraints and all, but then he was not so particular that she should not go. पहले थोड़ा सा दिखाया उन्होंने objection, but then ultimately he relented. And for this she says that I was fortunate that everybody supported me, including my family. Kalpana's first space mission in the space shuttle Columbia was 15 days, 16 hours and 34 minutes long. During this time, she went around the earth 252 times, traveling 10.45 million kilometers. So her first space mission in the same Columbia was of 15 days, 16 hours and 34 minutes long. And during this time they went around the earth 252 times, traveling these many million kilometers, and the crew included a Japanese and a Ukrainian astronaut from these Japan and Ukraine. They were from two different nations. The crew performed experiments such as pollinating seed plants to observe food growth in स्पेस. तो उन्होंने पॉलिनेशन कर दी कि यहाँ पे पौधे उगेंगे, फ्लावर्स वगैरह उगेंगे या नहीं, कि वहाँ पे क्या, ऐसी रिसर्च करने वो गए. एंड टेस्ट फॉर मेकिंग स्ट्रॉन्गर मेटल्स एंड फास्टर कंप्यूटर चिप्स, all for a price tag of $56 million. See how much money they had to spend there. छोटा मोटा मिशन नहीं था. It was quite an expensive mission.